Greetings to all my dear viewers. I'm here to discuss with you all a recent and an ongoing issue related to the took macaque species of monkeys that are endemic to Sri Lanka. It is none other than that of several accusations being made regarding their way of conduct. They are being accused of eating up and destroying the fruits, vegetables, and crops being cultivated around various regions of the island while causing harm to the people who try to chase them away using tools available to them at those instances. Meanwhile, there are also claims that state that the monkeys of the took macaque species have greatly increased in their population over the years. They are estimated to be ranging from 2 to 3 million in the wild. At the same time, it should be also noted that the took macaque species of monkeys were listed as endangered in the International Union for Conservation of Nature Red List of Threatened Species after an assessment on them and their population was carried out by the International Union for the Conservation of Nature in 2015. The other most important detail to be closely noted is that generally it is considered that creatures of the wild primarily enter the territories of the Homo sapiens, that is, the territories of humans, when they lose their habitats, that is, the forests, due to human influences or environmental factors. Predominantly, it is the human influence that contributes to such occurrences. As in the case of Sri Lanka, the land area for agriculture had significantly increased to 45.4% by the year 2020 according to the World Bank data. A land area of 512,000 hectares of paddy have been cultivated during Yala season of the year 2022. In the same year, that is 2022, plenty of reliable media sources reported that Sri Lanka's privatized plantations, which are on a 50-year lease, have occupied more than 9,000 hectares of land, and to be more precise, 70,000 hectares of land. All this points out at one common issue, that is none other than that of the loss of habitat for the wildlife. The loss of habitat due to drastic increase in deforestation over the years have become a cause of concern in Sri Lanka throughout the decades. It is said that the protracted civil war in Sri Lanka too has had a negative impact on habitat and wildlife in the dry zone. To be more specific, these were the took macaque species of monkeys. It is said that the took macaque species of monkeys were used as target practice during the Sri Lankan Civil War. Other than this, they were subjected to plenty of other threats over the years as well. These included shooting, snaring, and poisoning of them as a result of considering them as crop pests. Now, all this seems to pave the path towards the rising of some questions of interest, such as that regarding the estimated population of monkeys over the years until this year of 2023. That is, with such decline in the factors needed for their survival, as of enough space, that is habitat to live, and being free of safety threats, how come the population of endangered took macaque species of monkeys would have drastically increased in number, ranging from 2 to 3 million at present? It is said that a species is classified as endangered when there are fewer than 2,500 mature individuals. Considering this, and the factors needed for the survival of the population of took macaque species of monkeys, it is still surprising as to be informed of such a sharp increase in their numbers in Sri Lanka over the years, until the present year of 2023. Anyhow, it will be much better if a resurvey could be conducted over the population of endangered took macaque species of monkeys throughout Sri Lanka by any established, preferably highly certified, top-notch global organization as the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, using AI technologies such as M-Bazaar AI that are able to identify the correct animal with a 96% of accuracy rate. It is considered that M-Bazaar AI could classify up to 3,000 images per hour. AI algorithms called deep neural networks, such as convolutional neural networks, can able to automatically identify, count, and describe wild animals in camera trap images. Deep neural networks are generally more effective when the wildlife population is sufficiently large enough. These deep neural networks are trained by looking at thousands of camera-trapped photos that have already been tagged, which can be a problem when the animal is so rare that few photos exist. However, in a case of two macaque species of monkeys that are ranging from 2 to 3 million in population throughout Sri Lanka, this may not be a possible or a potential issue. Indeed, this algorithm, that is convolutional neural networks that can be used for animal identification and localization, could ensure whether these species of primates can be classified as endangered or not. VGGNet is not the best algorithm for animal classification with an accuracy of 96.6%. High-resolution satellite imagery is not the high-tech method that is used to locate and count animals, usually large animals that live in remote, inaccessible, or difficult areas to monitor. High-resolution satellite imagery can also be used to detect mining and monitor desertification and deforestation. A team of scientists led by the Universities of Leicester and East Anglia for a leading research to protect wildlife by using satellite data has looked upon ways in which an array of technologies could be used to map remaining monkey population out of the endangered monkey populations on Earth. In a new article published in the journal Nature, Ecology and Evolution, it was stated that a working group chaired by Professor Heiko Balster from the National Center for Earth Observation at the University of Leicester has looked at ways in which a group of technologies could be used to discover the number of species of the primates present in an area and the risks they may be exposed to. It was stated that using a combination of satellite and ground data, the team can map multiple indicators of monkey distribution, including human activity zones as inferred from roads and settlements. Direct detections from mosquito-derived iDNA, animal sound recordings, plus detections of other species that are usually found when monkeys are present, such as other large vertebrates. It was also said that the data collected could be used to identify areas in which monkey populations are particularly vulnerable. Professor Balster then added that scientists have developed indicators for biodiversity such as land cover type and modern ecological models that can digest satellite data and information on species occurrence. They are now offering near real-time monitoring of the land management impacts on biodiversity. Among the technologies which can be used to map monkey distribution are automated recording devices that can automatically record animal sounds in a landscape. Modern genetic fingerprinting on a massive scale called high-throughput DNA sequencing can also tell which species live in a landscape based on the environmental DNA that they leave behind in the form of saliva, urine, feces, or blood. Mass-collected bulk samples of organisms can be collected in the field with relative ease. For example, mosquitoes can be caught in a trap and blended into a biodiversity soup to analyze the DNA in the blood of the animals they have been feeding on. Professor Douglas W. Yu from the School of Biological Sciences of University of East Anglia, who co-led the research, said that DNA-based methods are a powerful way to relieve the taxonomic bottleneck in biodiversity assessment, but they are only partially able to relieve the sampling bottleneck. In the end, the only way to cover whole landscapes is to combine satellite sequences and statistics. Together with the data on the animal sounds and photos, the DNA they leave behind and satellite observations provide a wealth of biodiversity information. Professor Balster then added that the idea is going to propose then may sound strange, but what if satellites can see the genetic makeup of the blood sucked by mosquitoes? Of course, they cannot directly see that, but big data from genetic fingerprinting of animal DNA in a landscape combined with fine resolution satellite data and sophisticated ecological models can. We need to work across subjects to make this happen. Concluding with that, when we go through both this research and some of the already discussed high-tech ways used to monitor and protect threatened wildlife, they tend to provide the fundamental understanding of how the already available technologies could be utilized in some of the best possible ways to effectively preserve and safeguard species from getting extinct. It also informs us about how we, as wildlife preservers, could contribute on to enhance the population of a species and keep track of their population using already available technologies and progressing technological advancements. Hopefully, may there be many new and modern technological inventions that have the potential to accurately predict how the numbers of a species may change over time in the future. Moreover, as responsible wildlife protectors, we need to figure out ways to prevent territories of the wild and that of the humankind from being occupied by one or the other among them. Most importantly, as wildlife guardians, it is our duty to come up with ways to safeguard the wildlife from dangerous threats. As with the recent issue where two macaque species of monkeys in Sri Lanka are blamed on of eating up cultivated fruits, vegetables and crops around various regions of the island and causing harm to the people who try to make them leave the sites with tools available to them at those instances, I would like to humbly request the Sri Lankan government to provide the Took macaque species of monkeys with protected habitats. It can be done either by expanding the forest area by planting trees and plants through carrying out various sustainable development projects of the forest or freeing up encroached forest land areas. If these are thought to be time consuming and if indeed would want to send the Took macaque species of monkeys away from the country, then please don't send them away to any country like China where most infectious and life-threatening diseases are more prevalent. In fact, the first human infection case of monkey bee virus or herpes virus Simihe was identified first in China during the year of 2021. Not just this, but also there were and are many others like avian influenza A, H3N8 virus that was reported on March of this year 2023, hepatitis B infection, rabies, Japanese encephalitis, malaria and dengue that are endemic to China. The other most life-threatening disease, which is again rising in certain countries like India in recent times, is the COVID-19 pandemic that originated in China near the end of the year of 2019. More precisely speaking, November 2019 has spread across globally and affected many, especially between the years of 2020 to 2021. The extensive level of ravage caused by it during the year still continues to remain as a scar that never heals. Even during the last year of 2022 December, there had been many reports of huge COVID surges in China. Even though there are recent reports that say that COVID is subsiding in China, there is still tension in the air. There are trustable sources that say China had been facing serious experimental monkey shortage, specifically in the year of 2021. Taking all these matters into account, it is not at all advisable to consider of sending any amount of Took macaque species of monkeys out of the already estimated amount of 2 to 3 million in the island to a country like China, as it is speculated that what if the Took macaque species of monkeys gets infected with any contagious and dangerous diseases after reaching China. It is also speculated that what if the took macaque species of monkeys gets infected in China and turns out to cause another pandemic like COVID-19 once again in the future. If the took macaque species of monkeys in Sri Lanka are really needed to be sent away from the island, then it would be a wise decision to send them away to any country apart from China that is free of rabies and other dangerous and endemic diseases, composed of a sufficiently large enough forest land cover, rich in fruit varieties, plant varieties, flowers, and a diet preferred by the toque macaque species of monkeys, while having the best animal health care system, wealthy enough with having least number of free of predators like crocodiles, less prone to natural disasters, and most importantly, having a national ban on all forms of monkey experimental testings. All the important and necessary factors should be taken into account when choosing a place to send them away to. Austria is one of the ideal places to send the toque macaque species of monkeys in terms of their animal welfare laws. Austria is one of the strictest countries when it comes to animal welfare laws. In fact, the Austrian Animal Welfare Act 2004 suggests that animal protection should be held to a value that is equal to humankind. Austria is the only country in the world to have completely banned experiments on all apes, including both the great apes and the lesser apes, commonly known as gibbons. Yet, it is wise to check the record of endemic and life-threatening diseases that are still present in Austria, and it is also advisable to delay the process of sending the toque macaque species of monkeys out there if in case there are currently any disease that have a high virulence and a transmission rate. It would be way better to send the toque macaque species of monkeys to a country that is neither endemic to any diseases or facing any dangerous diseases at present. If the toque macaque species of monkeys are planned on being urgently sent away to any other destinations where there is no complete ban on monkey experimentations, then a legal agreement in which it is stated that the monkeys being obtained from Sri Lanka will not be used in any experimentations should be made. In the agreement, it should be also stated that any intentional or unintentional use of the toque macaque species of monkeys being obtained from Sri Lanka in experimentations will result in extreme measures being taken both nationally and internationally against all those involved. In this way, the safety of the monkeys can be assured. Thank you.